Please be seated. We are honored this morning that Tom Prather agreed to write a skit for us to use in our service today. We're also honored that these 5 folks and the 2 booth operators all agreed to come to every service this weekend and do this. And I'm very thankful, to tell you, that it's a wonderful thing. I look forward now to commend it to you.
Good morning.
Will save $20,000 in interest each year, and that has been done.
But the capital campaign was very successful, raised over $1 million. What about the rest?
Well, the capital campaign was a 3-year payment obligation, and we were very fortunate to raise enough money the very first year to pay off the mortgage.
And the remainder of the campaign will be used to design a columbarium between our 2 buildings, and how we move about the long-range planning of replacing the modular units that always were a temporary concept. Do you have a comment, Bruce?
Yeah, well, my neighbor's going to be saying, whoopee, another fundraiser at Iona-Hope.
Well, let's get back to stewardship for 2018, which has nothing to do with the capital campaign. What is the annual budget for 2018?
It is $495,000.
Wow, almost $500,000.
Do you know what the increases have been over the past 5 years?
Yes, I have asked for the screens to show us that.
Those budgets appear to me that the vestry and leadership of Iona-Hope are very good stewards.
What are the major expenses?
I can help with that, because I was curious and wanted to give my neighbors some facts. They fall into 5 major categories: salaries, administrative expenses, congregational life, property expenses, and outreach.
Well, obviously, there isn't much control over the category of property expenses like electric, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And also in the category of congregational life, which is the diocesan apportionment of 10% of our annual budget, which is nearly half of the whole budget for that category.
I'm curious, you mentioned electric. What's our electric bill on an annual basis?
Well, I can tell you the Saturday 5 o'clock service can be really short. But the annual electric bill is usually over $27,500.
Wow.
I'm glad I don't have to pay that on my own. I heard the congregational life expense also includes our audio-video expenses, which are such a meaningful part of our services. Remember a week or so ago when they stopped working right before the service, and then we're shuffling quickly to find the Book of Common Prayer and the hymnal. With our audio-video, we don't have to have that constant juggling of prayer books. And it also includes our wonderful music, which is such an outstanding part of our worship service.
I like the prayer books.
You go to 8 o'clock. As a choir member, I'll make sure that your feelings are shared with them.
Recently, I saw the brochure for Journey to Generosity that included all of the fellowship and community services and classes that are part of Iona-Hope, and I was wondering if they are part of expenses.
I wondered about that as well. I love going to the supper club and help with the justice and hunger ministry, and absolutely none of those activities or any of the others are any of the others listed are expenses for Iona-Hope's budget, and many of those activities contribute to other forms of charity. There are also gateways for new membership at Iona-Hope for fellowship and contributors to offer their time and talents however they may choose.
You know, I can't help but notice the new van that's been purchased. That's got to be a major expense. How was that paid for?
Well, I thought that needed to be answered. It was paid for from a budgeted category of $7,000 from the after-school program for 2017, $9,000 from the interest savings of the 2017 mortgage, which was paid earlier this year,
Yay.
and $10,000 from an outreach line item in the 2017 budget.
And what could possibly be more outreach than our after-school program? I understand that we needed the van because the former van was no longer available. I think the after-school program is something really meaningful, and I thank all those volunteers who are doing a wonderful Christian outreach for our neighbors in the Harlem Heights community.
I noticed in the other revenues that our thrift shop contributes $20,000 to outreach and also to the operation budget. I need to comment about our wonderful thrift shop. The volunteers work so faithfully, and it's satisfying to have our own place to drop off items. We must not forget that it is season, and they could really use more donations now that the season is here.
I also heard discussion from a vestry member that this budget includes a contingency fund of $30,000 because our modular units are aging, and there was a replacement of 2 air-conditioned units this year.
Well, we promised a nuts and bolts discussion, so it's time for some props. I think a theater person had something to do with this discussion. I'm not naming names.
That is a very large bowl.
Yeah, I got it. This is the parable of the nuts and bolts.
We are going to say that this very large bolt represents Iona-Hope in all of our services, our activities, our outreach, and our fellowship and being responsible stewards of the gifts that we receive from God. Would all of you please show the items that you picked up a few moments ago? The nuts represent our $495,000 budget for 2018. Pastor Ray and the vestry are asking only for a 5% increase in our previous pledges.
Wow. Yeah, if one has a $100 pledge a month, that means they can skip Starbucks twice a month and make up the difference.
That really shows that Pastor Ray and our vestry are great stewards for all of us, and also our calling to do God's work at Iona-Hope.
And the 2018 budget includes a 3% increase in all our salaries, including clergy, office staff, cleaning service, sexton, and our music program. That has been a permanent Iona-Hope tradition for the congregation to show their appreciation for our wonderful staff. Now, who has the right 2018 budget nut that will fit the Iona-Hope Parish activity bolt for 2018? Drum roll, please.
Not me.
Uh-oh.
Mine doesn't fit.
Uh-oh.
Nope, not me.
Hey, process of elimination here. There we go.
All right.
Hey,
You can now pay the entire budget. Thank you. Our membership's journey to generosity and our snowbirds' generous contributions of over $70,000 while they visit us in the winter, I'm certain we will have a bolt and nut to match for 2018 at Iona-Hope. I would like to close with all of us reading the St. Francis prayer, which is on the screen and in the insert in your bulletin. Lord,
Make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. O divine Master, grant that I may not so much seek to be consoled as to console, be understood as to understand, to be loved as to love. For it is in giving, it is in pardoning that we are pardoned, and it is in